Oh my goodness, and Tim Omlu goes over a tenth of a second fast.
And good evening everyone, it's that time again. I know you've all been aching to watch us all make a fool of ourselves on stream, but yeah, it's Formula Trout League and we are live. We are at the Singapore Grand Prix and we are currently floating around watching, I believe it's Stevenson in the Trout car, about to embark on a hot lap, the first one of the evening. And I am joined alongside me, well, virtually at least, is Alex Cochran.
Hello, good evening. Glad to be here. Should be a good race, exciting race coming up. Very, very long duration. So yeah, it'll be really exciting to watch this one unfold.
And yeah, as always, guys, if there's any audio issues or visual issues, tell us now. Otherwise, buckle up and enjoy the show. I believe we're sponsored by CRG tonight, at least that's what the billboards are telling me. Did Stevenson just make contact with the barrier there?
It looked like a heavy whack, yeah, but he's continuing, so it can't have been that bad.
It might have just been a visual thing, because on my screen it doesn't seem to say that he made any contact. Ryan Wilson did, but I hope he's okay. Full beans now. You might recognize that this is a slightly different layout as Stevenson takes a right turn. Correct me if I'm wrong, is this a straight now or is this still part of the circuit?
Yeah, so on the real version of the circuit, this corner, this right left and then left right, completely gone. That's just a straight line now. I think it's temporary in real life. I think they're just modifying the existing road, so they had to take a different layout this year. But yeah, it's the different one to the one that we're using here, obviously. I prefer this version personally, but you know, it's up to the opinion of the drivers, I suppose.
And I believe that's the first time of the evening. Stevenson set in 2 purple sectors, but obviously first lap of the evening. Let's see, on board with Cody as he just negates through. What turns that? I don't know. Oh, it's going to the bridge section now. But yeah, Stevenson with a 1:39 flat. That seems to be the time to beat at the moment. Others not quite getting into the 39s yet. Thomas Barbieri with a 1:44. Currently second in the championship. Cody Lawrence getting into the 39s, but 8 tenths off Stevenson. So yeah, Stevenson back up to his usual top form. Only
Yeah,
took
it's
a
quite.
couple. Sorry.
Go on. It's quite a big gap there, yeah. But obviously, as you say, it's only the start of the qualifying session. But it's a very, very long lap around here. It's what makes the race so long as well. There's a car slow in the middle of the road there. Yeah, it's we do the normal here in Formula Trout League. We do, I think it's 200-kilometer race distance. But this circuit, you know, the lap is so long. Well, in terms of duration, that it means it's such a long race. It's such a slow lap just because of all the turns. Street circuit, you know, proper street circuit, and we don't shorten it. So, because I think the only other circuit we've ran like this is Monaco, which has a shortened layout, a shortened distance overall, because it's such a slow lap that would be an even longer race. But here, no such thing. It's a very, very long race, and the drivers will definitely be feeling it. But yeah, Stevenson's still on top there.
Yeah, and Dragoon getting into the 40s with a 145. Held up by a bit of traffic, might have lost a tenth there, but you know, I think that's a fairly representative first lap of the evening for him. Let's go on board with one of the new guys. Why don't you brief us in on Linus Johnson and who he's representing tonight?
Yeah, so we have a few new guys on the grid. I think they might have raced, some of them might have raced last round at Silverstone as well, which was actually 3 weeks ago, because this round is a week delayed. Yeah, they're driving for a new team, which unfortunately doesn't appear to have a logo, I don't think, which is ADM Helios Eclipse GP. It's Linus Jonsson, I guess, and William Granberg driving for them. I think they're both on the grid today here at Singapore. Both taking part in qualifying. It'll be interesting to see where they stack up in the field. Obviously, they're new to the league. I'm not quite sure how new they are to, you know, racing, competitive racing, formula cars either. So, be interesting to see where they stack up. Not very close so far, but you know, there's plenty of time left for them to set a quick lap.
So it seems like the majority of the drivers in the top 10 are opting for the C3 compound, at least at this stage in the session. Few opting for the C4s and the C5s. Maybe they're being a bit optimistic, opportunistic even. Back on board with Stevenson, who's just about to start his second flying lap now. Fresh set of balloons underneath him, and yeah, full beans. Straddling the curbs there into the section of corners, straightening the car, full throttle. Again, as close as possible to that wall without touching it. Braking just before the 50-meter board. Don't want to go over that curb and lose your lap time. And you might just come across some traffic. Another Trout car by the looks of things. No, maybe not. Well, it is as well, yeah.
Do get out of the way for him this time. Yeah, a track like this, and with the large field that we've got, it only takes one car, you know, maybe not paying attention so much, and it's just going to ruin your lap. But they got out of the way of Stevenson there, and he is still up on his time as he gets down one of the shortest straights and right into the section which doesn't exist anymore.
Do you reckon he can get into the 38s? Just about straddling on to a positive delta here. Still finding time though as he zips his way through these corners.
I mean, he's up on his time, he's definitely, and he's pushing hard, but yeah, it's not the huge increase that you'd expect to see.
And he's just lost it there in the last few corners. But he knows now where there's time to be gained. On board with Cody Lawrence, who's definitely got time in his pocket. Been on top form all throughout this season. I believe he's only come second twice He's featured on the podium throughout the season. Let's see. I don't think he has qualifying nailed down completely, as he gets a bit leery there. Good catch. But definitely sacrificed a bit of time there.
Are in front as well, holding them up. Meanwhile, Barberi and Olsen have jumped to second and third, so he really needs to get up on his time. Looks like he will. He's, what, 5/10, maybe 6/10 of the line. That's P2 again for him, but still behind Stevenson.
He can beat that. He can beat Stevenson's time for sure, but it's whether or not Stevenson can beat his own time.
Don't doubt that he will.
For sure. Cody Lawrence setting a purple middle sector there. And William Granberg, who, oh dear, he is in the wrong livery, I believe. Apologies for that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he is the one of the drivers for the new team, the Helios Eclipse GP. Yeah, unfortunately in a Trout skin this time around, but he is still representing his team in the point as Benoit is going slowly there.
Yeah,
the wrong way as well.
Found himself off the track. As he waits for the passing cars to go by, doesn't hold anyone up. Very nicely done. Thomas Barberi making contact with the barrier. Let's see who's on a hot lap at the moment. Jan Dragoon seems to be out of sync with everyone, and again, once again, held up by traffic.
Yeah, he's up on his time, look, but the car in front, they must be on their lap as well. They're not going to be moving out of the way. Dragoon will be... Oh, they do actually, so maybe they were, and you think he's going to back out the lap. Maybe just weaves in disapproval to the car behind.
Yeah.
He does improve his time, but that was definitely not as fast as he could have gone.
Great to see though.
Is that a 140 dead as well? 0, 0, 0. Very satisfying lap time.
I believe this is one of your drivers, is it not?
It is, yes, driving for Nova, which is a team that was brought back a little bit. There is another driver signed, but they're not racing today. He missed the last round, I believe, so it's good to see him back on the grid. Quite high up on his time as well. He did quite a good result for one of his first rounds. Unfortunately got demoted due to penalty, so hopefully he can replicate that here at Singapore, as he has a little wiggle on the exit there, nearly hits the wall.
Looks like Jan Dragoon is sticking with his lap. He was up on his delta in the first few corners, but yeah, once again, it just seems to be sandwiched by traffic. And
there's a car in front again, but he's up on his time. Like, look, 2-3 tenths nearly. So those C3 tyres that he was running on the last lap, they're clearly holding up for multiple push laps. Not sure about the battery, but yeah, that traffic is... Oh, as the traffic loses it in front of him. He had to back out of that there, yeah, and he's backed out completely now.
let's see, Felipe Olsen, I think he's about to embark on the hot one. Felipe Olsen, correct me if I'm wrong, he is one of our pole sitters this season. I believe he got pole Australia, did he not? Or is it?
It was not recent, I think. I can't remember which round it was, unfortunately, but yeah.
Yeah, well, he might have had a couple then.
Definitely, he's definitely turned it up this season. You know, very talented driver, been a mainstay of the upper midfield for the last few seasons, but he's been really challenging the guys at the top this season. You know, you've got Lawrence and Stevenson is currently setting the pace, but Olsen is right up there with them now, so yeah, he's definitely turned it up now. He's joined Griffin and he's doing a great job so far this season.
It wasn't Australia, sorry, my bad. But I definitely believe he has a pole in his pocket. Let's go find out who that when that was though. Fuji. It was Fuji. Let's.
Ah, yeah, of course. Yeah, because he was on the softer tyres, and I think Cody and Thomas had a great battle, and he was trying to do the ultimate strategy, but it just didn't work out.
Awesome. 3/10 off pole at the moment, and we were sleeping on this. Thomas Barbieri finally got into the 38s and the snatch pole position there. So congratulations to the Frenchman for that. But still over 4.5 minutes to go, and yeah, plenty of opportunities. Cody Lawrence is on a hot one, 4/10 up, coming around the last couple of corners now. I think he will just snatch provisional pole, and he does, and he misses out. Very close here tonight. Stevenson. It'll be his turn soon enough. Cody Lawrence once again fastest in the middle sector. Jan Dragoon's on a hot one. Sorry.
Roasted Stevenson then, losing a lot of time in that middle sector. Where, Cody was so fast as well.
I believe Stevenson's on an out lap.
Ah, apologies.
So yeah, this guy's down on his time, but this guy isn't. Benoit.
And steers wide at that corner though, barely misses the wall.
I think Benoit is another underrated driver. You know, a solid point scorer.
I'd argue more. Benoit, similar to Olsen, you know, he's joined Formula Trout League, I think back in season 7, and he, you know, showed some promise. Maybe not any fantastic standout results, but the last couple of seasons, again, you know, got so much closer to that top group, challenging them. You know, 4 wins, 4 podiums, quite often. So Benoit is one of the definitely underrated drivers, I think. Not one that comes to many people's lips, but he's definitely one of the faster drivers in Formula Trout now. Dragoon sets a personal best, but it's still only best for 7th overall.
Just 2.5 minutes to go around this qualifying session at Singapore Grand Prix, sponsored by CRG. And Felipe Olsen is off by the looks of things. Benoit crosses the line 5th fastest with a 1:39.4. It's very close between the top 5 at least, in the top 6 even. Christoph Boozer doing great there in P7 in the 39s. Yeah, he was complaining about this track last night, but I know he was putting in the hours. And Stevenson on a hot one at the moment. He's up on his time. This will see him snatch pole from Barbieri, but not with oversteer like that. As he comes to the last couple of corners, this is where he was down on his time, so he knows he has the potential to fix that. Again, he did the same thing. He did the exact same thing and lost a chunk of time there. He will come across the line and just about maybe scrape second at this rate. Oh no! Ah!
So that is provisional pole for Stevenson, but it's not safe. Sure, the other guys are going to be starting their laps, and that was a bit of a scruffy lap. It was fastest in that 3rd sector where we saw him make the mistake, but did not look completely in control then, to say.
Yeah, you're right there, but Stevenson still has time in his pocket. We'll be looking to iron that out if he can get around the track in time. I don't think actually he will.
Unless he can do 2 push laps.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's the end for Southwood.
Yeah, Southwood is out. Looking at cars down the grid. Olsen has just started a hot lap. I think Benoit is on a hot lap. Dragoon. Buzz has just started one.
Barbieri currently on a hot one, I believe. But found a chunk of time there. But still needs to find the 210s. He's held up by someone who's just spun out there in the default car. Really throwing it in this the dying moments of this qualifying session.
So unstable through there, but just manages to hold onto the car and keep the lap time. Sliding it through the exit. Checkered flag is out now. Stevenson is not on a lap, so he is the time to beat. Bavari's up on his time. Lawrence is up on his time. Burt is up on his time as well. 4 tenths to him, so up for grabs still.
It's so close, and I can't take my eye off the Delta. I know Thomas is doing everything he can to just concentrate. The drivers know he's on a hot one. They pull out the way for him. And who says chivalry's dead? He's 2 tenths up. This might just be enough. He comes across the line. He's fighting more time, and he's on pole. What
Really
can Cody Lawrence do though?
There. Can anyone respond? That was purple in the first and the last sector, so his tyres were holding on for that whole time. Slower in the middle sector actually, but his first and last sector were just so fast that 38.5 is a great lap. But as I said, can anyone respond? Checkered flag is out. Last dying seconds of qualifying now.
Our current championship leader is not able to answer to both Stevenson and Barbieri at this rate. Comes across the line and isn't able to improve, just like I'm unable to talk. And
I think that's it.
Yeah, I believe you're right there. No one's improving, no one's on a hot one, and that is qualifying.
Sure, Barbieri will be really happy to have that pole position. Track position is really important around this circuit. It's very difficult to overtake. Managing the tyres, managing the battery is really, really important here. And if you have a clear track in front of you, it just makes it that much easier. But we've still got lap 1 to come yet, and will he be able to hold on for that lead? We will see.
So Thomas is our new pole position sitter of this season. This is a very exciting time. That's 1, 2, 3. Yeah, our fourth different pole sitter. Just over 30 seconds to go now before this race commences, and yes, very exciting times here around the Singaporean Grand Prix. We've got Thomas Barbieri on pole, alongside him Stephen Stevenson, and Cody Lawrence in third position. I wonder what he can do around the first lap here. You can just hear the engines revving in the distance as tensions start building. We've got the lights lighting up, and away we go. Lights out, and Thomas seems to have the turn one covered. Stevenson's alongside him, and it's a bit of a mess there as with the CRG car spins out, but Thomas still ahead. And it seems like the pack has got away safely, if not for that one car. I believe it was Ali Gochman. I could be wrong, but yeah, Barbieri still ahead. Stephen Stevenson, Cody Lawrence, Giovanni Amorim, Felipe Olsen, Jan Dragoon, Boozer, Shaik. That's not how you pronounce his name, is it? And we've got Granberg. This is his first race here, I believe, and he's up into 9th place, so good on him. And we've got Rudolf Campus rounding off the top 10. These are a lot of names that I don't recognise, so apologies if it's also your first race or if it's not. I will try and familiarise myself with you guys, but new names, and you know, I like to see him in the points position, so good on you guys. Back to the battle ahead, and Thomas is still ahead as we come around the last few corners of this 40 lap race around the Singaporean Grand Prix, sponsored by CRG. And here we go.
Oh, there's a car lost it in the last sector there. Managed to avoid most of the field, but yeah, it was a pretty clean first lap for most of the grid, up the front especially. Further back, there was a lot of scuffles. The gaps already are, look at that, 4 seconds from P7 to P8. So those guys battling back there has pushed them miles back as a Granberg.
And that's James K touched on the rear, and he's facing the wrong way now. William Granberg might get some hate mail for that from the Kings. A lot of go on, sorry.
Unfortunate to see some contact, but I'm sure it will not be the last of it. It's such a tight technical track, this, and cars are so close together.
On board with Ryan Wilson, who's down in 13th position at the moment, stuck behind Ali Gochman, but is all over the rear of him, as is a lot of the cars at the moment, currently sandwiched together, trying to find a way around their rivals.
So difficult in the back, especially if you're one of the faster cars, you know, one of the faster drivers wanting to challenge for the win. You're stuck in this big train, and as I said, that gap, like 4 seconds already, 6 seconds in fact now, I think. And you're seeing that gap increase, and you just, you know, there's nothing you can do. You can see Ryan Wilson here. He just has to stick behind. Nearly blocking the bridge under the tunnel there. Top 3 is unchanged as of now, though, but Stevenson is very, very close to the back of Barbieri, and I think he will have DRS this lap.
So, yeah, it's worth noting, top 6 drivers all on the C3 compound, and we've just seen an overtake. Well, we've seen it. Well, have we seen overtakes? Was Felipe Olsen always 4th? What's going on? Oh, Morim's found himself down in 6th. That's what happened there. So the top 6 all on C3, from 7th onwards, C4, So, you know, we might see a bit of different strategies unfold, but majority of the pack sticking with the same compound so far.
Yeah, Christoph is the higher positioned car on there's been a crash further back, I think. Agnes Rosith is getting together with another car over the bridge. Yeah, Buzz is the fastest, the highest positioned car with those C4, so it'll be interesting to see how long he can take them. And it'll be really interesting to see when he pits, where will he come out, because he's going to have to stick with that front group, try and make his tyres last as long as possible, because he's going to have to pit early and it's just going to put him into traffic. And we've seen the huge gaps already. It's a 7-8 second gap now between P7 and P8, and you would not want to get stuck behind those cars if you are wanting to challenge for the podium positions.
Stevenson managing to stay within half a second of Barbieri at the moment. Can't seem to find a way around him, but it's probably just biding his time at the moment. You know, long race ahead of him. Needs to kind of size up his opponent maybe and see where he can go for an opportunity. Yeah, for sure, Thomas Barbieri, if he wants to win this championship, this is the one. This is the race to win. Especially if he, if the positions stay as they are. Cody Lawrence finishing third, that will help Barbieri plentiful.
Yeah, this is what Barbieri needs. He basically needs Lawrence to finish as far down as possible, and Barbieri to just maximise those points. But then it's also interesting to note, as long as he beats Lawrence, that's all he really needs, you know, to gain those points. The more he gains on him, the better. But if he's going to be racing with Stevenson, you don't really want to risk a DNF. You're going to be pushing too hard. Although I'm sure he would like the win compared to a second place.
And the gap beginning to extend between first and second, and we got Karov there, 10th position. Roberto managing to hold on, but has definitely found himself outside the points position now. And the Morum, still down in 6th. I wonder what happened. Must have got a bit too close to the barrier.
He's still saying reasonable lap times. That was his fastest lap of the race last lap, and he is right on the tail on Dragoon. Will have the DRS, but then so will Dragoon have the DRS on Olsen. So he's in a bit of a train here at the moment. Ooh, what's Dragoon doing? He's losing the rear there. Might give Amarim a run on him. Really great racing between those two. I was going to say if Amarim kept that position there, that might be passing off the track, but I think it was fair enough. Dragoon has come out in front still. Amarim looks to the inside, but too far back to do anything about it. Amarim is just millimetres away from the back of Dragoon there. It looks a lot faster at this stage of the race, honestly, to be able to stay that close through those corners, but then through that last corner he looked to drop back a little bit. I don't know if he didn't get a good run through there. But then obviously Dragoon is right behind Olsen as well. I'll just drop back a little bit now after their battle.
We might see an overtake for first here. Just noticed the delta was increasing. Stevenson goes for an opportunity, but Thomas has the door firmly closed.
It's not the first time we've seen Thomas in this position as well. Back in Fuji, he had to deal with the pressure of Lawrence that time. It's Stevenson, but he managed to hold on for Fuji, and I think he did end up winning the race that time. So, long way to go yet, 34 laps, but he's no stranger to this pressure, even though he is, this is his first season in Formula Trout League, but definitely not his first season racing these types of cars.
Morum seems to get a way around Dragoon. He's muscled his way through. Now he's got straight ahead of him, DRS wide open, and I think he's just played his cards right there.
Yeah, really impressive move from Morum there. Kind of caught Dragoon sleeping, chucked it up the inside, got the DRS, got the move done.
And Boozer not far out of the picture, to be honest. The battling ahead might just bring him in.
You have to remember he's running those C4 tyres though, so track position is important for him. But then also is keeping those tyres alive. Hitting now would just ruin his race, so he's definitely going to have to extend them to as long as they can go.
Yeah, you're right there. Ideally, Christoph needs to get ahead of those two and use that space between them to just set as many hot laps as possible right now. Hopefully his his brand spanking new telemetry system will aid him in this process. And Stevenson yet again very close to the car ahead.
He's very close, but I've been watching an onboard of Stevenson for the last lap, and he is wrestling that car around the track. Every corner counter steering. I don't know if he's just pushing very hard to try and keep up with Baveri. Maybe the dirty air is holding him back from being able to, truly follow him as close as he wants to, but he is really on the edge, keeping that car under control.
It's worth noting that Cody Lawrence is actually dropping back from these two. I wonder if he's just conserving his tyres at the moment, and probably waiting for an opportunity as if these two come together.
Yeah, it's only been 5 laps now, I think, is it? No, 7 laps, sorry. But yeah, that gap between Lawrence and Olsen is around 7-8 seconds already, so if they keep up this pace, maybe by lap 16, lap 17, we'll probably have a pit stop in hand, and that would just... Overall, if they try that one-stop strategy, they would gain so much for that. They wouldn't have any traffic to deal with at all.
Once again, Stevenson seems to be very close in that one part of the track, but isn't able to finalize the deal.
Yeah, I think that DRS is really helping him stay close through there with the rest of the lap. It's just doesn't really have the grip, the mechanical grip, to be able to stay with Baveri.
Cody Lawrence on a bit of a resurgence here on lap 8, finding a bit of time in the corners maybe. Like I said, he has his own plan for sure. This guy, he might be on the back foot currently, but he has an ace up his sleeve.
Definitely. I mean, Cody is, another driver that's new to Formula Trout League, but he's no stranger to racing. He knows the way it works. He knows how to get a car around a track quickly, but also, efficiently. Don't be burning your tyres up too soon. Don't be using all that battery too soon, and I will not count him out for sure. Stevenson is really close to Baveri again though, and he will have the DRS.
Straight just isn't long enough for Stevenson, is it?
Another 100 meters and he'd have him, but yeah, just nothing he can do. He has a brief look to the inside, shows like, oh, I'm here, but Baveri does not make a mistake. And I'm just looking at Bavaria as well. He is so committed through the exit of turn 4 onto that straight. You know, sliding the car, getting the slip angle just right, getting everything he needs to hold this position, even with the car behind being so close with the DRS. And something to say, how long can he keep it up for? How long can he slide the car out that corner? We're on lap 8 now, lap 9, and yeah, those C3 tyres, they're going to be feeling it. They're definitely starting to wear. Not as much as Christoph Berzer in P7 will be on those C4s, but they'll be feeling the wear now, definitely.
As it currently stands, if Thomas is to finish first and Cody finishes third, then Thomas is only 19 points behind, and that really kind of reels him back into play. As it currently stands, it's 29 points. That's a win. That's a win and 4 points. So that's you need to do that over 2 races. But this really kind of helps Thomas just balance the play a bit as we head into the halfway point of the season now.
Yeah, round 6. There's 12 rounds in the season. Go, 29 points, that's a lot, it's a win, but it only takes 1 race for that momentum to change, and it is only halfway through the season, so that 29 points could go the other way around to Thomas.
And this is where fastest lap points really kind of come into play. They can be that ultimate, deciding factor in the championship. So yeah, by all means, Thomas will be trying to win the race, but also extract every last point out of it.
Yeah, that 1 point, that one push lap you need to do to get that point can be the difference between the championship, but that one push lap can be also the difference between you finishing the race and not.
Yeah.
So really, I think it has added a lot to the point system to be able to have that. There's a lot more excitement. I think Stevenson might have made a mistake. He's just dropped a little off Bavaria in front.
You're right there, as he's now 8/10 behind, and actually Cody Lawrence is a lot closer to Stevenson.
Yeah, look at 2 seconds now.
Stevenson might find himself outside the DRS zone at this rate, so he really needs to kind of focus and reel back his opponent. And I think he's just heard us.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if Bavaria got a little complacent maybe and backed off a little bit, but Stevenson closed that gap right back up again. Going to have DRS down the straight, nowhere near close enough to make a move, but going to keep him within touching distance for another lap. Wonder if he's overheating the tyres though. Stevenson's been following this close for around 10 laps now, almost the whole race. And Bavaria's got a nice clear track in front of him. Stevenson has a very, very hot car in front of him. And then he's going to have to turn the wheel more to deal with the dirty air, and obviously just running behind the car just puts that extra load on the tyres, so they will be much hotter than Bavaria's in front, who has a nice clear track.
Yeah, for sure. Cody Lawrence just a second and a half away now. At this rate, he could come back into play as we near the pit stop window. Remind me when that is.
Yeah, I'm not actually 100% on what people's strategies are going to be here. I'm expecting a one-stop. A lot of the field are running on these C3 tyres. They're either going to take those a long way, go on the C4s, which Christoph and Campus are on at the moment, but I feel like they'll probably be going onto those C2s, making it a 2-stop, trying to avoid as much traffic as possible. Yeah, this battle goes on for another lap.
A lot of wheel spin coming from both cars now.
The rear wing of that Trinity car getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but not disappearing out of view, not disappearing behind Stevenson's car, just not close enough to make a move. It seems to be, you know, Bavari's just got the speed where it counts, using the ERS maybe down that straight to stay in front. And yeah, Stevenson just can't get close enough to attempt an overtake. It only takes one mistake from Bavari and it would switch that around completely. Stevenson runs a little wide, I think, as well, so Stevenson is struggling with the tyres up the front.
James K always putting on a good show for us, even if it's for 15th place. But you know, this is a pretty good performance from him so far, considering he got spun out not long ago.
I think Knowles has just retired from the race, William Knowles.
Oh dear.
Not sure if he was involved in one of those lap 1 incidents, but yeah, he has parked the car and is out of the race. Another slow lap for Stevenson that time round, and Lawrence is within 2 seconds again, so yeah, Lawrence has maybe started to pick up the pace. Stevenson's just dropping back a bit. Looking at the track map here, I see some lapped traffic starting to appear, so the leaders will have that to deal with soon. Ideally, they won't be affected and they'll move out of the way, but you know what can happen with lapped cars.
Yeah, you're right there, especially around such a tight track. You know, yeah, the kind of wider parts of this section, like the motorway part, but you know, there's some twisty parts of this track which you just hope they don't come across traffic. Yeah.
And it looks like that's where they're going to be catching it.
Yeah, you're right there.
Huge wheel spin out that corner as well.
Yeah, it's almost as if he's using that to kind of turn the car.
Definitely getting held up by that car in front now. Hopefully they move out the way. This is exactly what Stevenson wants.
Oh dear. Let's see. To be honest, Thomas should be fine. He's found himself closer to Stevenson in previous laps. He's found himself very wide there coming out of turn 3. Who knows?
Snap road there in the middle of the corner there, and yeah, Stevenson is as close as he's ever been.
Once again, looks like Thomas has his eyes. No, I don't think he has. See, there's a change in the lead as Stevenson muscles his way through the inside, and the corners now suit him. And yeah, Thomas is down in second. I wonder if he will react with a pit stop or what, if he will fight back.
That was a really fantastic move from Stevenson there. Just, you know, Thomas guarded the inside, but Stevenson just that bit later on the brakes muscled his way onto the outside. He had to leave him the room, and then the next corner, the right-hander, he has the inside line for it, and through he goes. Real fantastic move to leave that. But that's how racing is, you know. Stevenson was following Bavari around for the last 9, 10 laps, 11 laps. And he's been nowhere he's slow, nowhere he's fast. You know, Stevenson saw he was held up by that lapped car. Bavari just a little offset maybe by the car, threw him off a little bit, made that little mistake into turn 1 and did allow Stevenson to get through. He is still very, very close. He might be able to get back past again. More lapped cars in front. This time, Stevenson to deal with.
We've got a first of the front runners to pit, if you can call them a front runner at this rate. Sorry, Giovanni, you are like over 12 seconds off the front. Oh my god, the contact! It's a good attempt, but that door was closing fast as Stevenson needed to turn. But he left himself wide open with the inside there.
Yeah, he was welcome to try there, but yeah, it did not pay off. It nearly ended in tears. Both cars coming together. Stevenson getting away with the contact and keeping the lead for now.
Simon Benoit also in the pits.
Really important to see where these cars come out, because that will, you know, kind of indicate for the front runners how far back you're going to drop when you do decide to pit. They have a luxury of a bit of a bigger gap, but they're still going to fall into traffic. Benoit out in P2, I don't know. Hard to tell. 12, so only dropped 4 or so positions there.
And Barbieri is in. He's in the pits.
Yeah, so Stevenson's going to have to react now.
Cody's in the pits as well.
This could go wrong for Stevenson, definitely. He's impeded a little bit as well at the pit exit for cars coming out the pits. Stevenson's going to have to push.
Is Cody repairing? Cody might have had a bit of damage there, I think. He was definitely held up by his pit crew. Very slow release. Definitely lost a lot of time there to Thomas, who was already leaving the pits. And yeah, you're right. Stevenson, has he played his cards right? He's coming across a bit of lap traffic now. Hopefully it doesn't hold him up. Dragoon's also in the pits.
Yeah, so Baveri decided to pit there. He has unleashed the rest of the field, and now Stevenson has to react. And I'm on his onboard now. The amount of lap traffic in front of him that he's going to have to get past. There's 4 or 5 cars as he has a huge slide around the hairpin as well.
And yeah, Barbieri, nice clean open road for him. Felipe also making contact with the wall there.
Well, Stevenson is just losing so much time here. He's 2 seconds off his best. These cars in front are fighting, scuffling. They don't want to lose time. He chucks it down the inside of one of the cars. Gets away with it, but yeah, look at that, 2.6 seconds on the delta. He's going to have to react to Barry, surely he does.
Yeah, Barbieri, cleaner, just coasting at this rate.
Purple middle sector for Cody, who's pitted. Oh, interesting. But Barry's on the C3s again.
Oh, what? He's going for a 2-stop.
Yeah, Lawrence is on C4s, Barry on C3s, but who's going to come out in front here? Stevenson at the pit exit now, but Barberi is through. Where is Lawrence?
Lawrence actually further back.
Yeah, well, you did say he might have had damage. So.
Yeah, you're right.
Cody is flying on those C4s though. Purple middle sector, purple last sector. Barry was quick, but...
And Morin finds himself in P4. He's leapfrogged Dragoon and Olsen, so great move from him.
Olsen did get the pit, I think. Did he? Oh, apologies, my timing's out of date, yes.
And Thomas is flying on this set of C3s.
Complete. I don't even know what's happening with the strategy here. Stevenson on C2s, Barry's on the C3s, and Lawrence is on the C4s, so all different strategies. Stevenson must be on the 1-stop. But Barry has to do a 2-stop, because if he finishes the race on this set of tyres, he'll be disqualified.
Yeah, you're right there.
Unless I've done what I did at Fuji and he was actually on C2s the whole time.
No, they all started on C3 compound, so yeah, you're
I
right.
thought so,
Thomas needs to pit again, and it'll be interesting to see what he does. I mean, Cody will also be pitting again.
Yeah, definitely.
Stevenson's the only one who's played this safe. But is it safe?
Amorim's on C1s as well, so he's going to the end of the race. Olsen's on C4s.
And yeah, I think Stevenson's just going to lose a lot of pace now. Cody's going to start catching him. Be interesting to see what happens. Will Giovanni catch up? Sorry.
Yeah, Barberi has to build that gap now. I think it was 2.2 seconds at the line last time around. We'll see what it is next time. But Barberi has to build that gap, because he's going to have to pit again. And he's going to have to make an overtake on Stevenson as well, so... That is, unless Stevenson can keep up. There has been situations, where maybe Stevenson keeps within that 2-3 second margin of Barberi pits, gets held up on traffic on his outlap, for example, and then that could really pay off for Stevenson if he wants to do another 2-stop. It is a safe strategy on those C2s, but it does give him a little more flexibility, whereas Barberi is now committed to what he has to do.
Stevenson's still setting faster laps than Lawrence at the moment. Olsen going for a move, forces Amorim wide. Amorim has the inside, at least against Dragoon, because Olsen's already away.
Yeah, Olsen has, 3-stage softer tyres, so he will be a lot faster at this part of the race, but it'll only take maybe 5 or 6 laps, and those C4s are going to drop off a cliff, allow Amorim to get back up close again. And then it'll be, situations reversed, because Olsen's going to have to pit.
It's mad that there's already a pit stop distance between 4th and 1st. But such is the nature.
That top 3 is just another level of this round. They're all pushing each other to be as fast as possible.
Stevenson already 3 seconds off Thomas. Yeah, Dragoon setting purple in the first sector.
Yeah, Dragoon's on the C3s as well, so that's a great lap from him. I wonder if he did get the assistance of the DRS. And then slow in the middle sector as well.
Cody Lawrence a lot closer this time. What's happened? Stevenson's made a mistake somewhere.
Yeah, purple sector as well for Lawrence. 28.7 for Stevenson, 28 flat for Lawrence. So a lot faster. There's lap traffic in front. I think Barberi's already clear of them. So this top 3, second and third, gonna have to get past that traffic. Stevenson hits one of the lapped cars. I'm sure the stewards will have something to say about that. I don't know who that was. Very, very unfortunate for that to happen. I'm sure Stevenson will not be thinking about that at the moment, though. It's just going to be focused on trying to get away from Lawrence from behind and trying to get past the lapped cars.
And we've passed the halfway point here at the CRG sponsored Singapore Grand Prix. On board with Cody Lawrence, who's just behind Steven Stevenson, both of them battling for second position at the moment, whilst their competitive rival Thomas Burberry up ahead in first, already nearly 4 seconds ahead now. It's been pretty much even Stevens, ignore the pun, up until this point, but as the pit stops have unfolded, the strategies are beginning to play out, and Stevenson, who was in first at one point, now finds himself struggling to hold on to second. Boozer up into 7th, unless my delta's playing tricks on me, so not doing a bad job there.
Yeah, I think Burzer's also on the 2-stop. He's on C4s again, so maybe C4, C4, C3 for Griffin driver. Olsen is also on the C4s, so maybe the opposite strategy there, C3, C4, C4. Olsen's doing a great race so far. See if he can hold on to that 4th place though.
South are trying to find a way around Gockman in one of the many, one of the few overtaking spots in this circuit. Makes it look easy. Simon Benoit now trying to get past Campus. Both on the same compound tyre. Let's see. Campus's tyres are 2 laps older than Simon Benoit's, so Benoit might have a bit of speed in his pocket. Cody Lawrence all over Stevenson at the moment. Trying to make sure I don't miss an overtake.
A similar situation to the start of the race, but obviously the tyre situation. Lawrence, it's that much faster. They will be dropping off, but Lawrence is really able to keep right on the gearbox of Stevenson. Stevenson doesn't really have to think about him so much, you know, he's going to be on the 2-stop. As long as he can stay in front of him, it doesn't really matter too much, but Lawrence looks to the inside again and further ahead.
Benoit is up into 8th. He'll be hunting down Boozer next.
Around the outside there, really brave place to make an overtake, you know, to shut the door like that. Really good move from Benoit.
Let's see.
Might want to
go on.
I was just going to say, you might want to switch to this battle. Lawrence is really, really close again, but there is lapped cars in front yet again.
Stevenson making a bit of a Larry move over the curbs there.
Oh, importantly, Stevenson gets the DRS off the lapped car, gets the draft as well.
That will help him tremendously.
Understeering wide, nearly brushes the ball.
Decides to get very close to that wall, and it's not helping him.
That gap to Burberry as well is just increasing. It's almost 5 seconds now.
Literally like watching someone just shake a bottle of champagne, just waiting for that corkscrew to be released. Stevenson's doing a brilliant job at defending second, but I think it's just a matter of when at this rate. But each lap that goes by is just destroying Cody's tyres and his chances of probably getting to first.
Yeah, this is helping Barry so much as well, because obviously Barry is on the 2-stop, Lawrence is on the 2-stop, Stevenson isn't. So the longer Lawrence takes it, well, he looks to the inside of turn 1.
What a brave move, but it's not going to pay off. Definitely let him know he's there, and might just hinder Stevenson's approach into this next part of the track. He doesn't have DRS this time, but Stevenson got a great acceleration out of that last corner. You can tell that Cody is now getting a bit frustrated. We've not actually seen Cody in this position before.
The win is just slipping away from him, you know, like that 5-second gap, it's affecting Stevenson a little bit. He needs to stay close because he's on the 1-stop, but Lawrence is on the same strategy as Barry. So Lawrence, all this time he's losing, he's going to have to make up on Barry if he wants to go for that win, and I am kind of fearing that he will not be able to make that time up, especially with the track position Barry will have.
And you're right there. He's just fortunate that he's not got 4th place to worry about.
That lap car in front, thankfully not being too much of a pain as well, being quite fast themselves. I'm not sure who that is. Getting a little closer to them now, so hopefully he'll move out of the way. And he does. Good stuff.
Good time in that. As we just got 15 laps to go around this Singaporean Grand Prix. And if you just joined us, Thomas Burberry has pretty much led from start to finish, if not for a couple of laps, where Stevenson managed to muscle his way through. But a quick round of pit stops and Thomas Burberry back on top. Cody Lawrence, the one to look out for as he's trying to get his way past Stevenson. All three of them on different strategies at the moment.
It's again not close enough to make a move. He shows himself in his mirrors, but can't really get an overtake done. Over 6 seconds now to Burberry.
Yeah, I think unless Burberry makes a mistake at this rate, it's pretty much his to lose.
It's difficult to say though, because remember, Burberry's going to have to pit. He's going to come out behind Stevenson, and he's going to have to make the time up and make the overtake. We'll see how difficult it is for Lawrence here. It might be equally difficult for Burberry.
Yeah, you're right there. Keep an eye on Benoit, who's getting very close to Boza, and I'm actually going to switch them. There's an overtake going, and Boza unfortunately has to settle for 8th position. Cody Lawrence faster than Stevenson on that last lap.
Yet again, lap traffic. Oh, Stevenson just avoiding.
Yeah, great reaction there from all drivers.
Well, has that unsettled Stevenson? Will this give Cody a run? It does not look like it's close enough. Yet again, nothing he can do. Lawrence is getting really desperate here.
Dragoon's out! Dragoon!
What?
Dragoon's made a mistake.
Oh yeah, Dragoon off turn 1. Not sure what happened. I don't know if you caught that.
No, I did not.
That will promote Amarim up, Berzer up. Don't think... Yeah, he's out the race completely. So not good for Younger GP. Obviously that leaves just Cody Lawrence on track as their only remaining car. But Cody Lawrence up in P3 still on the gearbox of Stevenson. interesting to keep an eye out now then when Barbari's going to pit. There is 13 laps to go. Barbari C3 is going to be getting old and he's going to be wanting to switch to, I imagine, the C4s. Cody Lawrence has been trying. Let's see if he can get that up into P1, but Stevenson, he's just running his own race at the moment, managing his tyres, managing Cody Lawrence behind, blocking him from getting through.
Yeah, you'd be interesting to think that Stevenson's made the right call here. It could go anybody's way, and yeah, Cody Lawrence be looking to maybe pit soon. Barry pitting soon. Giovanni is pitting.
Oh yeah, he was on the C1s.
Sure, but your device needs to be...
Ignore my Google phone. Just interjecting there. And Boozer into the pits as well. Stevenson now 7 seconds behind first position, but Barbari needs to make. I was going to say Barbari still needs to make more time.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to be able to do this actually. You know, if Barbari pits now, let's say comes out 18 seconds behind. He's got 12 laps or so to make up 18 seconds. 1.3 seconds a lap, I guess. Plus the time he's going to need to make the overtake. It's going to be very close unless Stevenson's tyres drop off completely.
But Barry's like, I don't know, got to chuck on a set of C5s at this rate. I don't know. He needs something.
We did see a couple of cars at the start of the race with the C5s on, but I don't think it worked out for them. One of those cars was... who was it? I think it was one of the newer cars. I think it was Campus. He's currently running P7, so not a bad position for him. But, yeah, C5s would definitely be a risk. One more and so close to Benoit there. It's only a matter of time before he gets through, I think, with the DRS. So we will see if an overtake is possible when you have the best tyre. Benoit peels off into the pits anyway, releasing a more now. Keep my eyes on Barbari, see if he's going to pit this lap. I feel like he will. There's some cars in front that might start to slow him up, some lap traffic, so it'll be a good time for him now. No, he stays out for another lap. The Trinity pit wall going into overdrive here, trying to work out when do we pit our driver, what do we do? I personally think he should have pitted this lap. He's got some lap traffic in front that's going to hold him up, and Stevenson, the pace has not dropped off too much. Lawrence is still behind, even more now actually, isn't it? Two seconds now. The Lawrence tyres have dropped off.
Yeah, I think Stevenson's tyres have come to life now, if anything. Olsen's in the pits. That puts Giovanni back into 5th.
C4 for Olsen, so C3, C4, C4. Bowser at the back did C4, C4, C3. Oh, not at the back, sorry, P10, that's a bit rude. Yeah, so the alternate strategy for Griffin, the opposite way round. Barry being held up by lap traffic. Like I said, I'll keep an eye out when he does pit.
He's lost a second already and a bit.
Yeah, that's a lot of time. Really helping Stevenson out because there's only, what, 10 laps or so he's going to have to catch now?
Hope he realises that there's this rule.
Is he going to peel off this lap?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Very pitting on that lap is it lap 30 now as he crosses the line?
Yeah.
So he's going to have 10 laps to catch Stevenson, 10 laps to make the overtake. It's asking a lot.
It is. And he's hoping that Stevenson's tyres drop off. But Lawrence also in the pits.
Through goes Stevenson into the lead. All he has to do now, run a clean race, keep the times up, manage the gap to Burberry, or at least mitigate the, I'm sure, will be very fast dropping gap. I don't think it will be dropping fast enough for him to be able to overtake. We'll see though. Could be a maybe 2-second delta. We've seen that before. I think in the test race even, it was a 3-second delta at Catalonia on the tyres. So do not rule Burberry out yet.
Here we go.
We'll be watching the lap times for Stevenson, watching the lap times for Burberry, see what each of them are doing. Last lap, I'm not sure what Stevenson did last lap.
1:41.3.
1:41.3, so that is not a very fast lap time, really. 7/10 off his best. Burberry is going to be on those fresh P4s now.
Stevenson set a 39 flat. Sorry to yawn, guys. 39 flat in the middle sector. Let's see what Thomas has to say.
38.3, 7/10, one sector.
And he's purple as well.
The pressure's on for both drivers. Burberry needs to push, needs to bring this gap down. Stevenson just needs to keep it on the road, but Stevenson is no stranger to this. You know, champion. He's won plenty of races in a similar situation, so he's just going to be head down, focused till the end now. 33.9 in the last sector. What's it going to be for Burberry? 33.2, so another 7/10, almost 1.4 seconds in the last two sectors. Now this is the first time Burberry is going to be setting a hot lap, so we'll see how much faster he is. Lawrence as well in P3 did a 33.1, so Lawrence is flying as well. I don't think he'll be able to catch Stevenson, but Burberry definitely might be in for a chance of it.
Gap to Lawrence though, between Lawrence and Burberry, massive.
10 seconds, unless there's a mistake. I think it's going to stay that way around.
Lawrence setting the purple in the first sector.
Uh, 28.5 Stevenson, 28.2 for Burberry, 27.9 for Lawrence. Another 7/10 though in the middle sector. 17 seconds the gap. How many laps have we got to go? It's about 10 laps, so what's that overall a lap? It's about 1.5 seconds, 10 laps. It's only 15 seconds only. We'll see. I don't think he might be able to catch here though. Stevenson's going to be pushing as well.
You need a mega lap here now to come from Burberry. Now his tyres are up to temperature. Troy Lawrence actually setting the best laps though. Must be just trying to salvage whatever points he can get.
Lawrence is definitely the faster of the two cars here, but that 10-second gap is just too much really. 39.8 for Burberry, 39.5 for Lawrence.
Lawrence stealing the fastest lap there.
And that 1 point you were talking about, that is an important point. I'm sure they might beat each other time again. But Lawrence, you know, behind Burberry for the championship, that extra 1 point will just, that 10 points will turn into 9, so it'll be a good help for him. Stevenson's definitely pushing now though, he's up on his delta in the first sector.
He will come across some traffic though. As will Burberry. Barry once again 7/10 faster in the middle sector than Stevenson. Barely anything between them in the first sector though, only 2/10.
Yeah, Stevenson definitely has good pace in that first sector. It's the second and third where Barberi's catching. There's 3 cars between Barberi and Stevenson that are lapped, so Barberi's going to have to get through those, catch up to Stevenson. Where is Stevenson on track? Mostly clear in front of him, so another 3 cars in front of him that he will have to pass. Depends how fast he catches them though. This is a bit reminiscent to me of some of the mid-2000s Formula 1 races with Michael Schumacher having, just you need to do 15 qualifying laps in a row to catch the car in front and make the strategy work. It's a bit of a similar situation for Barberi here. Every lap has to be a qualifying lap. Every lap has to be maximum attack. It has to get that gap down to have a chance at the win.
Yeah, Barberi's up against it at the moment. Stevenson, like you said, just needs to cruise to the end.
13 seconds in the gap of the line. I think it's 12.8 or so.
And
7 laps.
here we go. This is the deciding factor, how fast you can get past this lap car. And it's at probably the worst part of the track. He needs to get it done now, and he does.
Stevenson lost a big chunk of time there. There was a car off at the bridge just where Barberi's coming up to now. I think it might be clear. Yeah, it's clear now, but Stevenson lost a big chunk of time to a car on the inside there. Ooh, but Barberi loses a bit of time as well.
Just 6
All
laps
part of the
left.
game, 11.8 seconds. Has to be 2 seconds a lap, and I don't think he's got the pace in the car.
No, you're right. Stevenson needs to come across some lap traffic in order to be slowed down now. And unfortunately, it's Barberi who finds himself still needing to get past that lap traffic. So Benoit has found himself behind Dave Southwood after many laps. And he's actually going. Oh, he's really eyeing up a move there and decided to pull out.
Yeah, that would have been a very, very risky place for the overtake. Benoit has C4 tyres here. The Southwood's on older C2, so this is kind of similar to what the battle would be for the lead if Barberi is able to catch up with Stevenson. You can see here Benoit's just going to sail straight past into turn 1 with that DRS. Through he goes up into P7. Barberi as well. I'm just watching his onboard. He's pushing so hard. Big snap of oversteer. Lost a chunk of time. 6/10 he caught in the middle sector. 3/10 in the first sector. It's not enough. 10 seconds the gap now. 5 laps to go. He caught 1.6 seconds a lap. He needs to be catching 2. But will Stevenson's tyres hold on? He's been on those C2 tyres for, it's going to be nearly 30 laps, well, 25 laps by the end of the race. It's taken them a long way. You saw how slow Southwood was on them then when Benoit caught him. He just sailed past, so nail-biting stuff.
Yep, just under 5 laps to go here around the Singaporean Grand Prix, sponsored by CRG. If you just joined us, well, it's just been a roller coaster, hasn't it? Thomas Barberi started on pole, led majority of the race. Stevenson manages to get into first for a couple of laps, and then after the first round of pit stops, finds himself down in second. Thomas Barberi leads up until his second pit stop, and excuse me while we just watch 2 cars ahead of him battle for position as he tries to get round them as fast as possible, and this is just hurting his chances.
That was Rositis and Wilson fighting for P11 and P12. Barry lost over a second there trying to get past them.
But yeah, Barry's strategy not paying out for him in the long run. Stevenson opting for the 1 stop, and it seems to have really paid off because track position is king around here.
Certainly, I mean, Barry, you know, he knows how little laps there are left. He knows what the gap is. He knows what lap times he needs to do. He might back out, you know, he might just start cruising, maybe not go for the risk. He's in front of Lawrence for the championship, which is what he needs. He needs to be outscoring Lawrence. Stevenson doesn't really matter. And, you know, that would be the safe option, but he's still pushing. He's still setting fastest sector times, personal bests.
Well, the thing is, there's no cars between him and Stevenson now.
We hit the 1 hour mark as well, so we say it's one of the longest races of the season. Definitely is over an hour of racing. These drivers are definitely going to be feeling it. In, you know, the concentration. Can they keep it up? The Barry's having to push every lap of qualifying lap. It's a lot to ask for the driver.
You just gotta wonder, like, how is Stevenson managing it on these? I don't know how many laps. How old is the tires? 20 lap old tires now.
At least. .41.7 for Stevenson. There's only 3 laps to go. The gap is just over 7 seconds. 39.9. Not enough.
No. These tires need to just drop. Like, off a cliff. Stevenson will be coming across traffic in a few corners' time. It's just a matter of can he get through it. It was lap traffic which decided the first overtake for the first earlier on this race. I wonder if you know, it will return the favour for Thomas.
Stranger things has happened. It only takes 1 car, you know, not moving for a couple of corners, maybe costing him 2 seconds, but in these dying stages of the race, that 2 seconds could be the difference between a win or second place. So Stevenson's going to definitely be aware of that.
Just 2 laps to go here.
42.3 for Stevenson. What can Baveri do? Stevenson's definitely slowing. That is 2.5 seconds. Baveri caught that last lap. The gap is 4.5 seconds with 2 laps to go.
Could do it.
He keeps catching. He will catch him.
He might
Theoretically,
do it.
he'll be 5 tenths ahead at the line. But, you know, catching's one thing. What's the saying? Catching's one thing, passing is another. I think we may see that here.
I think Baveri might have got his maths down to the finest line. And yeah, you can just about see him in the distance there in the rear view camera of Stevenson's car.
And a thing to note as well, you were saying about the lap traffic for Stevenson. I think Stevenson's tyres are so old now, he's so slow, he's not even going to catch these lapped cars.
No, you're right, you're right. This is it.
Stevenson is losing a lot of time. He's 1.2 seconds down off his personal best. Barry is down off his personal best as well, of course, but nowhere near as much. Lawrence kind of in no man's land as well, 10 seconds behind Baberi, 27 seconds ahead of Felipe behind, so bit of a safe third place for Lawrence there. I'm sure he's just cruising now.
Well, he has the fastest lap currently. He could go for it again.
Ooh, Stevenson goes wide, 43 dead, 40.3. The gap is 2.1 seconds. Lap 39 out of 40. Baberi is so close. He could have this.
Yeah, yeah. It seemed like such like an uphill task, like 5-10 laps ago, but all of a sudden, like, this is in contention now. Like you said, though, he still needs to get past him. Stevenson is actually dropping away from the lap traffic.
Yeah, I think Stevenson's tyres have just gone. Look how close Baberi is now. He's gonna get DRS by the end of the lap.
I wonder if Cody will catch up at this rate.
Stevenson tries to park the bus. Cody flies up and takes the win. Less than a second. Less than a second as we come nearly to the last lap now.
It's amazing how maths works. And obviously, you know, these two very level-headed drivers competently keeping it together for nearly 40 laps now. Just 6/10 separates them, and you just think how everything's
Stevenson's
unfolded.
sliding all over the road.
There we go, DRS. He's weaving to try and break that DRS. Goes for the inside. I-ho! And he's done it. Baberi up into first. They touch, but it's not enough. And this is brilliant. This is some brilliant sim racing. Yo.
Can Stevenson come back? Oh no, big snap of oversteer. I was going to say, can he come back? He's going to have the DRS. He's surely going to have a look, but with those old C2 tyres, I don't think he's going to be able to do anything. He looks to the inside.
This contact, he has to give away the position though. I knew that was going to happen. But yeah. Can you fault him? He had to make the move. You know.
Yeah. That position was gone. He had to make the move just to try cling on for that last corner, the last chance. But Baberi through into the lead. The two-stop strategy working perfectly for him. It's not over yet, but I think he's just going to build that gap now.
What a race! You need two very, like, I can't even put into words, but you just need two drivers who are just on the money, constantly churning out lap after lap to produce such a result, you know, where it all comes together like a crescendo in the end. It's poetry. We've just witnessed art, and yeah, congratulations to both drivers. You know, regardless of the result, they should both be very happy with how it's turned out. Obviously, Stevenson, not as much as this guy. Thomas Baberi on the top step of the podium. Hats off. Stevenson comes home in second, and Cody Lawrence finishing off at the podium in third. Felipe Olsen will come back home in fourth as he comes around the last few corners. Just shows how much of a gap there is between third and fourth.
Fastest lap for Cody Lawrence as well, unless someone on the last few corners can beat his time, but I doubt it. So that 1 point might be important from the end of the season.
Yeah, you're right.
Very happy with that. Those 10 points that you said, he got.
Yeah. That's made such a dent in the championship. Yeah, admittedly, Lawrence managed to clinch onto that fastest lap, but that's still 20 points that separates them. You know, it's it's an exciting season. It's you know, I'm gonna say it. It has the potential to be one of the best seasons you know we've had, at least in a long time. Looking back at Max Hammerlink versus Paul Magshire, we might actually have a contender for the best season. There's a
Very similar setup, isn't it? You know, where you remember back to that season, like Magazire started the season strong, compare him to Lawrence, and then further through the season, Hammerlink got faster by Barry.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, Magshire looked unstoppable, and Magshire, Max Hammerlink just got faster and faster until they were both, you know, coming together because neither of them would yield. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. But once again, hats off to this guy who's put on a brilliant show for us tonight. All three of them, to be honest, they all looked like potential race winners tonight. But Stevenson putting on a brilliant show for us in the sense that he's the reason why Cody Lawrence couldn't get first tonight. He's the reason why it went down to the wire. So,
yeah, he was the one that held up Cody from being in contention for that win, and Baveri was there to pick up the pieces from that.
You know, hats off.
We have Felipe Olsen for an interview. We'll see if we have anyone else on.
Is he going to join us? Felipe Olsen, good race. You managed to clinch fourth in the end. Why don't you walk us through it? Felipe, baby, can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I forgot to press push to talk.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, pretty uneventful race from my side. Got a semi-clean start, then Giovanni made a mistake in front of me, so got P4. Then I had a really good strategy. We worked on it with Christoph, and that really gave me a big jump. And yeah, not really much happened. Just drove around on my own. Had a little moment with Giovanni when I had to overtake him because he undercut me, but otherwise, yeah, pretty uneventful race. Happy with P4, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes that's they do happen like that. Maybe Silverstone wasn't your track, but you know, you did show potential here and there. Admittedly, you know, maybe 35 seconds off the pace at the end, but you know, I think that all comes down to how the race unfolds as well.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be challenging the guys up front. Although I did lack some pace compared to practice, but that was, I think, mostly just me kind of taking it a bit easy because I knew I had enough in hand to stay in front of Giovanni, so I didn't really go crazy and risk a crash pointlessly. So yeah, that might have something to do with the 42-second gap, whatever it was.
What happened to Giovanni? I'm sure he'll probably tell us at some point, but you know,
He went onto the C1s for the second stint and he just got eaten up because everyone else was on a C4, C3 combo two-stop. And when he got into the C1s, both me and Jan Dragun managed to pass him. And then we dropped him by around 10 seconds, I think. So just got it wrong on the strategy, I believe.
well, you know, come back, I believe, in a week's time now, isn't it? Because of how the calendar's been pushed.
Just a week.
Yeah, a week of practice until the next race. But yeah, you know, who knows? Maybe that lack of practice will affect everyone, and you'll come out on top, man. You've got pole position before, so let's not rule it out.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to Spa. It's one of my favorite tracks. So hopefully have another good race. And yeah, thanks for hosting thanks for streaming, and see you next weekend.
Yeah, man. Thank you for racing. And let's get Cody Lawrence up on here. Cody, what a race! I mean, it was very emotional seeing it unfold for you. Why don't you walk us through it?
Yeah. First off, congrats to Steve on the one stop. He nearly got the one. I was about to say he nearly stole the one. He didn't nearly
Yeah,
stole the one.
yeah.
He nearly won that with that good
I
strategy.
know, right?
And well done to Thomas for his win. He kept on it. He kept the faith, and I was kind of cheerleading him through it, even though he was my competition. But hey, we do that. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed in myself, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, this is your third. I mean, you're still a podium. You still,
I know, right?
still
I know,
keeping
right? Yeah,
one
yeah.
step on the podium.
Yeah, but there was more in that, and I'm very very conscious of there was more in that. I just didn't put it together in quali. I mean, partly me getting nervous and partly me struggling with the rear end of the car, and then I mean, I'll be honest, I actually got side pod damage lap one from Giovanni, so
Okay. Yeah, no. Yeah, we noticed that in the pits. Sorry to cut across, but yeah, you were a bit slow in the first round of pits.
Yeah, I had to take it though because I could feel the understeer from that. I mean, I'm not sure how powerful it is, to be true with you. I haven't seen the data of how powerful that damage is, but I felt like I could feel it at placebo, if anything. But yeah, I mean, just want a little bit more, and wish I didn't have that from lap one. So, oh well.
I think crucially with that damage though as well, I think that's importantly what got you, unfortunately, what made you come out behind Stevenson in those pit stops, because he was a bit slow on that out on his in lap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, but he
not able to get past that one stop was the two stop wasn't able to work for you.
Yeah, I tried to hound him, but I wasn't gonna just send him off track to pass him, because that's just that's BS. So I wasn't gonna do that. But I tried to get by him, couldn't do it. He held his position well, and it kind of resided me to P3. But hey, it happens,
I don't know.
To next week.
I don't know if you watch these races afterwards, Cody, but this one I think you need to watch. It was one of those where it's like timing was perfect. It was like Alex just said, you coming into to pit and then having to repair. The extra few seconds is what cost you almost. You could say the race. You could say winning. So I don't want to be like, yeah, that's what cost you it. But
No.
Watch how it all unfolds, because it was.
I watch these back. I also send them to other discords because like I said, I really enjoy racing here, man. I want others to see it too. I hope that gets more people.
I appreciate that.
A lot of people that I enjoy racing with that I know would enjoy racing these cars, because this is a ton of fun. Enjoy the group here. It's awesome. It reminds me a lot of what I used to race F1 game leagues, EU leagues. So there's a lot of positive vibes, positive memory in that. So
it's good to hear.
I enjoy this.
Well, thank you very much, Cody. I mean, even finishing third, you still put on a brilliant show for us, and in a week's time, you've got all to prove again.
Exactly. I'm looking forward to it. I got chip on my shoulder. I'm gonna come with everything I got.
Exactly. That's what I like to hear.
We'll see.
We'll
see
what
happens. But thank you very much.
And let's get our race winner in here, shall we? Thomas, can you please tell me how to pronounce your last name?
Well, in French, it's Barbieri.
Barbieri. And how can I butcher it in English?
I don't know.
but congratulations, man. That was nail biting. I mean, we were with you till the last lap, and at one point we were like, "No, he's thrown it." That the C3 to C3 commitment. Walk us through it, because you must have been going through a range of motions throughout the whole race.
Well, first of all, quali. It's been a good quali for once. Pole position. I wasn't expecting this because Cody and Steve were a bit faster, I think, than me in quali. So, but pole position, we take it. Good start. I managed to create a small gap because I was just 0.6 or 0.7 in front of Steve. Then after I think 13 lap or 14 laps, he finally overtakes me.
Yeah. So you
And
get held
then
up.
I was like, okay, I think he's committing to one stopper because I saw him doing practice with C2 tires on the server. And Cody and me were like, okay, we think he's going to commit to one stopper. And us, we were 100% sure that we were committing to auto stopper. So we know a strategy. Then I pitted, I think, lap 15, something like this, to put Nusi C3 zone. I come out ahead of him with the undercut. I was like, okay, that's basically 25 push laps to the end because I knew if I want to make this work, I need to push and give everything to the end. I wasn't confident at all when I pitted lap 29 for C4. 22 seconds was a mountain to go up to.
Yes.
And then,
Yes.
yeah, I was like, okay, push the maximum you can. Quite laps to the end, and I got a bit held up by some traffic, some blue flags. At some point, I was like, it's starting to get a bit difficult in there. And yeah, in final lap, first corner, he did a mistake. I passed ahead. Then he tried a late move into turn 4, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, it touched me a bit. I go wide. I keep the position because I was ahead in the corner.
For sure.
And yeah, I created 2 second gap during this last lap. My C4 tires were dead, but not as much as these two C2 tires. So yeah, congrats to him and to Cody because they both did a great race. And I come back a bit in the championship, so that's pretty good.
20 points. That's a race win there, and you're back in. You're in first. This was the race to win, and for Cody to come third. Like it, you've shifted not completely in your favor, but now you have a chance. There's definitely especially with 6 races to go. We're at the halfway point, man. There's a whole half season.
Yep, everything is still on. For sure, this race felt really good compared to Silverstone 3 weeks ago, where I missed out the win for less than a second.
Yeah,
as usual, I would say. But yeah, I think next track is Spa, so that's a really good track where I'm confident to do a great result. Then it's Monza, so it's okay. I think there is no track where I'm not confident enough for the last few races of the championship. We still don't know one track, I think.
Yeah. But that's fighter talk right there. That's what I like to hear, Thomas.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I wasn't confident for Singapore. In the end, I had good pace, strategy.
It was on the edge, man. It was knife's edge. I mean, you. If you get a chance to rewatch that race, do it because just how everything unfolded. I said this to Cody as well. Like timing was perfect for everyone in that race. It was just like watching maths unfold. It was just it's beautiful how you just see completely different strategies literally come down to the last lap.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool, man. But yeah, congratulations once again.
We can do this because in some race we have just one strategy to commit to it, and we all do the same. This time it's great to have multiple strategy with multiple tires, different drivers committing to something or to something else. Yeah, I think it was a great race to watch.
Yeah, top three on different strategies is brilliant. Anyway, I've kept you for long enough, Thomas. Thank you very much. You go have a shower.
I'm not too sweaty.
No?
That's better than the last few races.
Well, go enjoy a nice cold drink at least.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Thomas. Have a good one.
Thank you.
And that was everyone. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching tonight. It was a bit of a late one, I know. with the Singapore Grand Prix being a longer circuit. But yeah, thank you very much, Alex, for being alongside me virtually.
No problem. Glad to be here. Very, very exciting race to watch.
Thank you for everyone involved, be it racing, track organising, or just sponsoring us. Thank you, CRG. And yeah, we'll see you in a week's time, same place. We'll be racing at Spa-Francorchamps, a F1 staple on the calendar. So yeah, be there or be square. Good night, everyone. And I've pressed the wrong button. Oh dear.